Right, I am doing it. I'm officially walking away from the Vivaro. After all the hours of sweat and money that I've poured into this build over the years, I've realised that I've made a fundamental mistake. A mistake that most people watching this are probably about to make too. But today, the Vivaro era ends, and a much bigger, much more invisible project begins. So, I've spent the last few weeks obsessing over every possible van on the market, including fridge vans, but I've finally made a decision. In a few weeks' time, I'm going to be picking up a Mercedes Luton, but it's what I'm planning to do with the inside of that box that most people are going to find controversial. Now, if you're thinking about starting a build, you need to hear why the most popular choices might be your biggest mistake. Look, the Vivaro is great. It's a great van, but van life isn't about how your van looks on the outside. It's about how you feel when you're locked inside for 14 hours during a UK rainstorm. I started noticing the friction points almost immediately. The curves, the lack of standing up in there, the constant battle for every bloody square inch. Then I looked at the fridge vans. On paper, they're perfect. They're already insulated, they're square, and they're built for temperature control. But then I realised I was walking into a pre-built trap. Basically, you're stuck with their insulation, their layout, and if you wanted a true custom build that could handle freezing winter without breaking a sweat, then I just had to build it from the ground up myself. I needed total control over the skeleton of the build, and the Luton is the only way I'm possibly going to get that. So quick tip for those of you researching your first van. I've linked a very specific van buying checklist in the description that I've been using to vet all my Mercedes Lutons. It is an affiliate link, but it saved me from buying at least 2 absolute lemons so far. Come on, Rowan. This way, Rowan. So why the Mercedes Luton? It's about the chassis and the pure volume. Most vans are built with the curves that steal your living area. A Luton is literally a blank canvas, just a square box. Right, come here. But here is the pro that really sold it for me. The over cab storage. In a fridge van or a standard Vauxhall Vivaro, the space is essentially dead air. But in a Luton, that could be my bedroom. By moving the bed above the cab, it's essentially doubling up my floor space. But I have to be honest about the cons. I'm going to be over 3 metres tall. Now that means no more drive-throughs, no more multi-storey car parks, and a lot of stressful bridge watching. Is the trade-off worth it for what I'm building? Absolutely. So this is where my build gets radical. My new build is going to have 0 windows. Come here again. Now why, you might ask? 2 reasons. One is for the ultimate stealth. So if I park in an industrial estate, I'll look like just a normal delivery truck or removal van. 2, thermal efficiency. I'm going with around 75mm PIR board insulation, Celotex boards, all the way around, floor, ceiling, the lot. Most builds have 25mm or 50mm. But at 75, this isn't just going to be a van. It's going to be a thermal fortress. I could probably keep this bloody van warm just a single candle. So I've already started sourcing the 75mm boards and the specialised adhesive for it. I'll put the links in the description to the heavy duty stuff that I've chosen below. Even if you aren't doing 75mm boards, this adhesive I've found is an absolute game changer for sticking insulation to flat panels. So be sure to check that out. Now people ask, won't you feel claustrophobic in there? And actually, the answer's going to be no, because I'm not restricted by curves. I can fit things in there that I've never dreamed of in a Vivaro before. I mean, I'm planning a fully functional hot water shower in my next build. But here's the technical challenge. A shower in a sealed 75mm box is a recipe for mould. So I've made a strategic compromise. I'm gonna be installing a max air fan directly above the kitchen and the shower area to pull that moisture instantly out. I might even add a stealthy skylight above the bed for some natural light, but only if it doesn't ruin the invisible profile from the street. Right, so here is going to be my biggest headache. Right now, it's the power. I'm planning to run 2 massive 420 watt solar panels on the roof. That's nearly like 900 watts. On a Luton roof, it's a game of millimeters to fit around like the max air fans and the skylight. If I get that layout wrong, I won't have enough power to run my shower and the rest of my stuff. But if I get it right, I'll be 100% off grid. And remember, the only way into this powerhouse is through the cab bulkhead. The back doors, you might ask, well, they'll be permanently sealed from the inside and then used as garage space for my tools. So imagine being a thief. You see a plain Luton, but the back doors are deadlocked from the inside. There's no windows and the cab is empty. You'd never guess that there's some high-tech equipment or high-tech studio in there. Hot shower just inches away. PlayStations, TVs, all that stuff, laptops. They're never gonna know because it's stealthy. Now, I promised that I was going to be real with you. Ditching the Vivaro will be a financial hit for me. I'm going to lose money on the sale when I sell it. I bought it for 18 grand, probably going to sell it for about 2. And I'm going to be spending a little bit more on the Mercedes because of all the upgrades that I want to do along the way. But doing it wrong twice is way more expensive than doing it right once. So if you're on the fence about your current van, ask yourself, are you keeping it because it's the right tool or because you're scared to admit it was the wrong one? Now, I chose to be honest with myself, and that's why the Luton era starts in just a few weeks. Now, I'm going to be documenting every single step of this from day I pick the van up to the day I start fitting the 75mm insulation. Now, if you want to see the exact solar panels and insulation I'm prepping for week 1, then click the link below in the description. Every click will help me make more videos just like this for supporting the channel. So, if you're wondering how the Luton stacks up against the standard van, I actually did a deep dive on the Mercedes Sprinter versus Luton in a previous video. You should definitely check that out over there if you're stuck between a panel van and a box van. But for me, the Luton won, and here's why over there. So just before you go, I need to show you the scale of what's arriving tomorrow. I'm not just insulating this Luton, I'm building a thermal vault. Now, I've just ordered 75mm PIR board to cover every square inch of this Luton box. Most builders, they stop at 25mm or 50mm, but I'm going for something much more extreme. So here's the problem I haven't told you yet. 75mm is so thick, it changes the entire geometry of the interior. So if I get the adhesive wrong, the PIR panels will most likely flex and the whole build could delaminate. So I'm going to be filming a full R value test and showing you specific high bond adhesive I'm using to keep 3-inch thick boards stuck to a flat wall. So the next video is going to be called something along the lines of the ultimate 75mm stealth insulation, and it's going to be a complete technical breakdown. So I'll show you how many millimeters of living space I will lose in the Luton, and if the Luton can actually handle this much thermal protection without becoming a condensation trap. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss the result of the experiment. But in the meantime, check out the Mercedes Sprinter versus Luton right here to see why I'm putting this much effort into this box van. I'll see you on the next one, guys.